welcome back
to the 2002 AFMA Awards. We would like now to present a package of highlights from the season in review.
This time around, it was all about us.
We were marching as one on the road to the Holy Grail.
And the new football season also marks a new era in football broadcasting. And Network 10 is very proud to be part of the AFL in 2002 and beyond.
Every Friday night, it's going to be Friday Night Football right here on 9.
And indeed, welcome to Fox Footy Channel, our very first broadcast, the inaugural Fox Footy Cup between Sydney and Essendon.
Style was the great source of debate. Ties, no ties, monogram blazers, those beige jackets, while the boys at Fox looked like they should have been enforcing the dress code. It was a time for new partnerships.
It gives me great pleasure now to welcome to the commentary box for the first time a man who has been one of Australia's greatest commentators over the years, Tim Lane. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Ed. Great to be with you and looking forward to the next 7 months of footballing conflict.
And a time to move on.
Not only do I have to be independent, I have to be seen to be independent, and I felt that to call the Collingwood games, and it is a contentious issue, was to endorse Eddie in his dual role, and I wasn't prepared to do that.
I would like to actually point at the scoreboard and say that maybe over 20 years in television as a journalist that I have some modicum of respectability and reputation that I would at the very least have liked maybe Tim to have one look at it.
It left everyone else hoping for that extra bit of luck and no outside interference.
There will be an inquest, of course, into why the power failed, and I guess the primary suspect at this stage would be Peter Swab, Bruce McAvaney.
And there was any number of ways to endear yourself on the boundary.
And I think at the end of the day I've come out of it a bit wiser.
Good, well done,
Okay.
Anthony.
There's the Montages again. Oh, they're a happy family at the moment, Dakes, aren't they?
But Hutchie, it's a good night. It's very, I'm sorry, Mytho, it's a very, tell me to say that.
They're a very pumped up Danny Frawley. In fact, I don't think we've seen him like that before. 3 words are used to describe that first quarter effort from the Tigers: gutless, spineless and useless.
The former home of football tried something new to cover the sudden loss of vision, and camaraderie was at an all-time high.
In comes big Anthony Rocker. He starts it right. It's a high. It's a ball burster. It's a goal.
Whoa.
Collingwood hit the front. Collingwood go in front of Football Park.
The bottom line here, as far as I'm concerned, is I just don't think he's a very good commentator. And I thought it was amazing.
Gee, that's a big call.
Well, I just don't think he is. He's a great host. He's a big name in football. But I just don't think that he's a good commentator. And I think that, what we saw on Friday night probably highlighted that.
I've done a lot of calls that I wish I could take back. I'm not sure if Eddie would like to take that call back on Friday night. If I was Eddie, I'd like to take that call back on Friday night.
Welcome to Animal, Vegetable or Mineral. So many things to get through tonight. And to help me speak shit, Bill Brownless. Bill, what got you excited on the weekend?
Hi, Sam. Look, it was fantastic the way Essendon would go back and flood the Blues' defensive 50 through the corridor to greatly affect the Carlton's kick-in strategy.
Gee, that is exciting. And as always, we're joined by the chief football writer for the War Cry, Barb Carlson. Barb, what was your highlight on the weekend?
Cooter.
What are you looking forward to tonight?
Cooter.
And what's your favourite fish?
Barracuda.
Fox Footy had been dubbed the divorce channel. It wasn't meant to be taken literally.
Sally and I are talking, and I'll leave it at that.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Was there sex in the toilets? No, there definitely was no sex in the toilets.
Chris Grant gave the AFL a pain in the neck.
I believe that the matter could have been better handled by the AFL, having regard to the personal nature of these circumstances.
It left you thinking he was a pretty straight shooter. Apparently not.
Every man and his dog has an opinion on Chris Grant's goal-kicking woes.
My opinion is he's running to the left when he's kicking it in, standing behind the goals. He continues to run to the left before he kicks it his last few steps, if he's left, and that's the ball the way he tends to get.
And what's the dog think?
Port Adelaide claimed the Wizards' cauldron. We took the Magic to a new stadium to celebrate, apparently the great Man Grook.
This was a fellow who, you know, some people regard as who had some foresight about Australian rules football, and as it turns out, Man Grook ended up taking the first Aboriginal team to England for the Ashes series.
Soon Andrew and just about everyone else turned to sign language.
So can I do that too, Eddie?
I guess there's probably more bigger issues in the world to worry about than me being a bit of a dickhead.
Rex Hunt certainly thought so.
Don't go smoking here, mate, or I'll get you thrown out. You sit down, you blokes, you should be at the cricket.
John Elliott blew his own smoke.
The MCC, I can assure you, have told me that Melbourne is expendable.
He was basically trying to deflect some hard questions that were aimed at him.
And what do you know? The Carlton Mafia was massing.
We don't have wars that will decimate the Carlton Football Club.
Or maybe you do.
Carlton would be like a funeral parlour if Collet became president.
It was Wayne Britton's turn to have the full support of the board. And if you didn't want to see your tenure coming to an end, look away now.
Just wouldn't be a coach for $1 million, would you, Malcolm? Worked on that line.
Just looking at Rodney. Sorry, did you say something, Stephen?
Paul Roos had little time to seek advice.
I've probably had about 3 minutes to talk to anyone. I spoke to my wife. She hadn't coached before, so she wasn't much help. The kids, they're playing Oz kick, so it was pretty tough to get anything out of them.
But cold water was poured on his aspirations when Terry Wallace threw in the towel.
Terry, can you say unequivocally that there's no offer in front of your management group at this minute?
No, I haven't spoken to my management group about any offers whatsoever, and...
You're seriously saying that?
I'm seriously saying that.
Okay.
Even the drover's dog knew it wasn't right.
All we are saying is give Roos a chance.
It caused everyone to revisit their relationships.
Probably get teased a bit by the boys that I'm one of his favourites, and I don't see that as being a bad thing. I mean, it's better than him hating me, I guess. So, no, we've shared a few intimate moments together. I don't mean sexually, but just disbelief at the moment. Just sort of hits you like a brick wall, and you're not sure about anything at the moment.
While we debated a longer season, Adelaide and Port Adelaide obliged with round 5A at the Ramsgate.
You're certain if you call that a big incident, then you've had a pretty sheltered life.
In the West, they simply fought among themselves. The VFL provided a testy case for the tribunal, a hardball get leaving Chad Davis knackered. James Hird survived and fully recovered, despite the grave concerns of some.
With respect to the surgeons in Perth, would they have enough expertise over there to deal with such a significant injury?
We said goodbye to some familiar faces.
I have no regrets at all.
And when two old combatants did so on the same day, it brought out the romantic in us all.
Terry, I hope you're planning on a sense of theatre for the weekend and letting Liver and Matty Knights having one last crack at it.
We're not playing against Richmond.
Alternate remedies became the order of the day.
Does this mean once your career's over, you'll just head out for stud?
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Depends if there's a few nice fillies out there, I guess.
As did alternate training regimes. Chris Connolly instituted Fremantle's own running of the Bulls and pioneered the Dockers Comedy Hour.
Mick Malthouse, the coach of the West Coast Eagles, is like Darth Vader to the Fremantle Football Club.
There's no doubt, and the worry will be, the next one, the Empire Strikes Back, so look at
The Dockers media department thought it was time to capitalise. There certainly was a lot to like.
That is one of the best things I've seen done on a football field.
Stephen Milne, excitement machine, kicks down towards left half forward. He wants the boundary line, and that is centimetre perfect.
And this became the universal image of success. But like so many things this year, all was not as it appeared.
It's hit the post. And now it's time to move into some of the main awards for this evening, the Print Awards. And where would we be without the fine work